Hi, everybody. So I read this term in something I was reading, and I said, oh my God, that is all of us pickles. And the term is, we are hosting contradictions. Yes, indeed, that's what we are. We are a host to all these contradictions about ourselves and how we relate to things, how we look at food, how we use food, how that might be good for that person, but it's not necessarily good for this person. You know how we do that. And so we host a lot of contradictions about our entire world of food as it relates to us from our journey. And I've been going backwards in time with a friend of mine, another pickle, and she comes from a big family, and the parents always made sure there was enough CRAP in the house for them to have. And I came from extreme deprivation. My parents were alcoholics. I was an only child. No cousins, no aunts, no uncles, nothing like that. And so there was never any food in the house. It was so pathetic. My parents lived on booze, you know. I've often told the story that my mother drank Carnation instant breakfast with bourbon because she wanted to make sure she got enough vitamins. Yeah, it's true. So I became a babysitter very early and began to be able to raid the houses, the fridges and freezers of the house, in the houses of the kids I was taking care of, and I would just stuff myself. I just became a little porker, a little scavenger of other people's food. And of course, then I took all that hard-earned money that I was getting. What was it, 10 cents an hour? And I would go to the penny candy store and buy bags and bags and bags of those cute little brown bags with penny candy in it. And I would polish it off. And that's why I have more silver in my mouth than I wear on my arm. And if any of you know me personally, I am called Silver Sally. And so, whoa, it was a trip back in time for the two of us to be comparing. And I went to a Girl Scout camp 2 seasons in a row, and then this exclusive horseback riding camp for 1 year. And then I went to 1 year of prep school. And those were like free-for-all food zones. And yeah, I was more than happy to help in the kitchen. I looked like I was the most generous, giving back little porky, but really I was there because I could like have the food, and if there's 2 pieces of cake left on that tray that they serve for dessert, those would be going back to my room. Oh yeah. And so as I reflect upon my contradictions, sugar was definitely it for me back then. I wasn't as much into non-sugary carbs, but I loved my sugar. And candy, cake, cookies, ice cream, so-so, but cake and candy. Then I kind of like lost my taste for candy, developed my taste for ice cream, with some frozen candy on top of it, of course, because I had to start hiding my M&Ms and little Milky Ways and things like that, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, in the freezer because my 2 young sons were getting wise. And so I had to hide it behind the broccoli. Otherwise, they would finish off my stash in one seating, right? Because they're little boys and they don't know that this is like supposed to last. No, it didn't. And so, anyway, I evolved in the contradictions that I had. And so, at the end of my food binging, which was 2 years and 2 months ago, the binging was cakes, as I've told you before. And so, I guess, and I loved bread, and I made a lot of homemade soups, which I still make today. It's just I'm not having them with the bread. So on the nights that there would be soup, there would be bread and butter, and then there would be the, slab or 2, mostly 2, of the cake. And that was my standard American diet. And the contradiction came when I guess, one of the things was that I wasn't obese, and probably if you knew me back then, you wouldn't think I had a weight problem, but I had a head problem, and I knew it was out of control, and I knew I was really one bite away from the disaster of losing it all, and going from around 140 way back up. And so that's when I found Weight Watchers and began to get the help that I needed with the structure and the discipline. However, I was still fitting the standard American diet into my points, which were, what were they? 38? Could it have been 32? They were the PPV, not the Smart Points. They hadn't switched systems yet. And so, I was still allowing the Weight Watcher novelties, the smaller pieces of bread or the smaller, those less carby ones, and the bag of chips to go with it. So I was still having things the way that I wanted them, just the Weight Watcher approved sort of vessels, or the chips or the bread and things like that. And so I was a contradiction in eating well, because I thought that was eating well. And it served its purpose, I did lose the weight, but I was conflicted and I was a contradiction. So today, I do what I do with my low carb, high fat, bit of keto, not strict keto, so I suppose that bounces me back to low carb, high fat. And, my contradiction, the hosting of the contradictions that I have is that I am that way, and I like that way, but sometimes my head takes me on journeys. And thank God is all I can say for the Fathead Pizza, because that saves me. That is the one item that saves me. I am not craving sugar today. I don't know where it went. I'm not really questioning it, but I'm very surprised. And so very happy to feel the way that I feel. And so my contradictions are probably with other areas than food, in my professional life, in my personal life, and things like that. Have you ever done something and it's okay for you to do it, but if somebody else did it, well, sniff, sniff. How could they do that? So anyway, I just thought I'd bring hosting contradictions into the video today, just to see, where are you with your contradictions? Are they so personal that you wouldn't even mention them? Are you kind of surprised that you still have them? Are your judgments about certain things still alive and well, no matter what place you're at in life? I think I have to raise my hand with that. And anyway, I just thought I'd bring it up, because we are just a mass of contradictions and conflicts all going on in our brain while we watch our food, when we watch our food plan, while we track our food, while we do all the right things. Our head could be busy with the wrong things. I love life. Anyway, enjoy your day. This has been Sarah. Thanks for watching, my little pickles. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.